everybody, I'm Donna from Purple Pinky Promises. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me grab the chat. How is everybody? Hi. Gosh, that was quick. Hi, Lindy. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me. I'm so glad you're here. Yay. All right. Well, I have a pre-prepared, a little bit of some prepared stuff. I'll actually do some more stamping as we go through this live, but we are doing these beautiful seahorses today, and we're featuring them from Catherine Pooler Designs. And I have to say, I don't know if this was on purpose, but I thought it was kind of neat that Catherine Pooler released the seahorses so close to Father's Day. I find it a little ironic that seahorses actually carry the babies. And I just wanted to do this project as a shout out to all the dads and grandpas out there that are so present in their children's and grandchildren's lives. So this is my little dedication project to all the wonderful dads out there and all the wonderful grandfathers, all the men that are really pulling it out there. I have a wonderful husband and I have a wonderful son, and I just wanted to do a great shout out to those guys who are doing, and I had a wonderful father who was very present, and so that's why I'm doing this project today. So yay. All right, so let's get on with this. I've done some pre-stamping, and I'm going to kind of show you what I've done here. Whoopsie, wrong way. I have to get used to this. I did some pre-stamping, and I don't know if this is gorgeous. Like, this is definitely my favorite one. I stamped that one. I stamped it first in Spiced, and then I stamped it in Oyster. And it's gorgeous, but it's not really flowing with the papers that I picked out. Although these colors are in the paper pack that I've used, the papers that I picked out, they don't really pick them up. It doesn't pick up the Spiced, and it has more of the bright orange here. So we're going to go with bright orange. We are going to go with On the Lake. And so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to be using Orange Twist, On the Lake, Oyster, and I did my little water bubbles in Tranquil. I think it works. It should work just fine. Anyway, they're very subtle bubbles, and I like that. And so, okay, so these are the seahorses on parade. Every stamp that is in that set, I've already pre-stamped. Hi, Mary. Welcome, and thank you for joining me. What cute ATCs you turned in yesterday. Sorry I missed you. While I stepped out for a little bit, I ran to the post office. I think it was yesterday that you brought those in. Anyway, I can't remember. My days run into each other, but I missed you, and that's the point. So, yes. So all of those are stamped from this set. There's also dies, and I'll be cutting them out. I'll probably, I might stamp a few. I'll be stamping some more from this. So we have the box here. We have the Scalloped box. Card pop-up. And so I like this set because it has all the coordinating pieces to put inside all of the frames, and stitched, and it's nice and finished, and I thought this is really cool. If you see these right here, these are actually banners. So this little thing is a banner that you can actually use. We're not going to use the banner part of it, but the stars and the hearts and all that can be used on this as well. It's a nice little addition. So this is part of the little, the sides of the banner. This is the top of the banner. And these are the little flags that go on the banner. And they have little score lines where you can fold them and attach them to the banner. So that's kind of cool. I just like how nice and finished this is. You can create these kind of boxes yourself with just scoring and cutting, but you're not going to get the nice little scalloped edges and the pretty little finished pieces that go in the project. So that's why I picked this up. This is an old set from Lawn Fun. And because this is a Father's Day, I am using this set. It's called Inside Out Love You stamp set. And I love this. I wouldn't want to do life with anyone else. I love that sentiment. These are beautiful sentiments. I'm going to read them out. Of all the people in all the world, thanks for choosing me. Some days I ask myself, how did I get so lucky? I love you forever and always. Thanks for being my very best friend in good times and hard times. That's so sweet. And happy anniversary. When things feel tough, always know you can count on me. In case I forgot to say today, I love you. Or love you. It's just really sweet sentiment set. Just beautiful. And then we have the Ocean Wonders, which is what I've cut my pieces from. And I'll just kind of walk you through this real quick, and then we'll get started with our project. I'll let you know what cardstock I found. Basic cardstock that I found that coordinates with our project. So here's the water and some fish. Seashells, really pretty. Some nice pink stripes, and then the jellyfish, seashells, really pretty paper. Some more really cool patterns. And then this last one. This is really pretty. I kind of like was trying to decide, but I went the blue. So, all right, there is that. Here are the papers I went with. And there are some specific things that you need to be aware of when you're cutting these out for your box. So I will walk you through that. I have a piece that I'm going to write a message on, and that'll just go on later. Some more pieces here for the bottom and some other pieces. And I'll talk to you about why this piece, which is the same as this, is, and this is this direction, and this one's this direction. We'll talk about that. Yeah, we'll go through all of that stuff. So I thought, oh, yep, the blue. I really feel like the blues are really nice in the bright orange work with this. The spice didn't work as much with it, but it's a gorgeous seahorse. Aren't those sentiments really sweet? I love them. I really, really do. And I also have these Seychelles Sequin mix, gorgeous sequin mix we will use on this project at the very end. So again, Orange Twist, Oyster, On the Lake, and Tranquil. Those are our colors for today. And I'm taking Spiced off the table so I don't confuse myself. That's why it was over here in the first place. All right. Let's put this box together. That'll be the first thing that we do. And so you've got one big main piece here, and you die cut it twice, which is basically how these things roll. And by the way, I did use Spellbinders Malibu cardstock, which just matches this perfectly. Okay. Now that all that's out of the way, I am going to, so what we're doing here is we're basically going to attach things like, kind of like so. We'll line it up. I'm going to use glue because that's just how I roll. Liquid glue is my thing. But if we were doing it, we would do it kind of like lining this up here, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm not going to necessarily do it that way. So I kind of want to make sure that I'm lined up correctly, but I am going to go ahead and do this first. So I'm going to bring these together. See how I'm lining them up just like that. I'm looking down here at the bottom to make sure they're all lined up, and I'm folded my tabs in. There are score lines that you need to make sure you fold all of those score lines really nicely. Okay, let me get my glue out. And I'm not going to glue yet on this one because we've got to get these tabs in to attach our seahorses to. And so I'm just going to place some glue right here, and I'm going to line it up. Just a smidge down here. There we go. So I'm going to make sure that I am lined up here at the bottom and here with no glue at this bottom, Just making sure that everything is going to work just right. And that's why I use liquid glue. And it looks great to me. And then I can attach this part here in just un momento. I will do that. All right. So we have these tabs, which are actually going to go inside of our box, and they're going to slide in from this side. It's getting fiddly on me. There we go. From this side to this side. So I'm going to fold in my tabs on all of these. So I die cut 3. Oops. Okay. I open this back up, and this is where my placement is going to go. So my placement's going to go kind of like right, yeah, I got to make sure I don't hit that tab. But it's going to go kind of right here. And then I'm going to line all of them up, one right after the other. And you can do as many of these as you want. You can do, I'm getting glue on here. If I'm off screen, I apologize. Just putting glue on. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going just right below the score line. I want to make sure it's straight. Maybe I will. If it's going to happen, it's happening live, folks. Which, you know, so if I go too far down, that's why I have some acetate strips cut and ready for this project. I just need to be patient with this and not rush it. Yeah, that's straight. So we're going to go next. Just like so. And I think we don't want to touch the score line. So I think that's a good one. That's a good distance. So I'm going to glue this one on. And be patient with it. I'm just looking at it to see if it's at least somewhat even. Straight, even. And I'm going to put this next one in. I think it's easier to do this rather than put the box together because let's see. There we go. Yeah. Just looking to see if it's kind of straight here, and looks good. So I'm going to fold these down. Now they're going to go across here. Yep, making sure it's straight. And now I'm going to pick it up so I can put my glue down, and I'll be able to pick up everything, and it'll be attached over here exactly where it needs to be. So let's do that. And I always hold my breath on these 3D projects, you guys, just because if it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong live. I did get a little glue there I didn't want. Okay. So now I'm going to put glue on all of these tabs. And trying not to overdo it. There we go. So bringing this over, and I'm going to hold. Yay. Otherwise, y'all are going to see me die cut another one live. Let's hope. Voila! Ta-da! And I'm going to turn it and whoopsie. Yep, we better hold on to it just a little bit longer before we start moving it. And along our edge. Sometimes this really good quality cardstock really absorbs that glue. You have to be a little patient with that. So now we're going to decorate our box. We're going to start on the outside. Making sure that it's all stuck down. I think we're good. I'm going to turn it and just make sure we're all scored. Yep, we're good. And it's all good inside of there. So I'll let you see how that looks inside. Woohoo. Okay, perfect. Now, I have to be aware of where my front and my back is located. So here's what I'm going to do first. I am actually going to put my white part on so that I can just be aware that this is the bottom and this is the back where I'm going to write my little message. So let's get that on. Just making sure, double checking. Yep, that's where it goes. Okay. And just centering that. And the nice thing about this box is that it does fit inside an A2 envelope, and we're going to test it when we're done. You guys may have to help me remember that part. Okay, so now I have my back portion set. Okay. All right. This is the front. And on the bottom, I wanted it to look like water. So I have all my pieces for the bottom that are going to go around just each side. So let's start with that. And I'll show you, I'm going to show you now while I'm thinking of it. Just a little tip to know which is which and what is what. When you're looking at this die, I'll pull it off here. When you're looking at this die, your scallops are going to be the top. Okay? So then you know which die pieces belong where. Because it can get a little bit tricky. These are sized, oops, sorry. I didn't show you. I was off screen. So I'll do that again. This is, your scallops are at the top. Okay? And all of these dies are actually sized differently. So this one frames, and I suggest that when you're putting your pieces together for storage purposes, if you use a magnet like I do, that you place them in their proper place. And that way it's going to help you remember. So these are for your bottom pieces. Okay, so this is this, and this is this. This one is the top, and these are the other top pieces. Here we go again. I'm off screen. Top pieces, bottom pieces. Voila. There you go. So, and you also have to be paying attention to the directionality of your paper, and I'll show you that here in just a sec. All right. So let's glue this on. I apologize. I have to remember the camera's over here. I should probably just pull my chair over. That would be really helpful. I may be off screen, but the project is what you're watching, not me. Okay. So here we go. And I apologize if you if you hear any of that off cam, in the other room. My poor husband is losing his hearing. So when he listens to stuff, he's loud. You guys let me know how the Wi-Fi is doing. If anything is off, like it seems like it's freezing or it's doing weird stuff. So I want this to be even. So I'm just paying attention to that. Centering it in this, but making it even with all these pieces down below. That looks good here. Mostly because this is how you're going to fold it and it's going to go in the box. So you want to make sure that it all looks good. I think he's listening to my live. He is. Oh boy. Perfect. Yay, I'm glad. Okay, so this is our front. Now we're going to decorate this portion as well, because this is it's going to close, but then we're also going to have this and we're going to decorate that on the inside too. So our top portion is going to be, we're going to do one of these little puppies here. And where am I doing fish? I think I'm doing fish here. Or am I doing fish on the, yeah, I'm doing fish here. That's right. I'm doing fish and I'm doing jellyfish over here. Okay. So we're doing fish there. And the fish are for the sides on the inside. I got this. So our little swimming fish, I am watching my placement with this to make sure it's even as possible and centered in there. Hey, John. No, I'm not. I knew you were. Okay, so we're going to put jellyfish here. Just making sure that we're good and centered there. This paper is so pretty. It's just got that really pretty oceanic look. It's gorgeous. We've got another set of jellyfish. Okay. And there we are. So now we're going to go to the inside, and we'll also, I think I caught the back side too. Yep, I did. I'm going to put some fish right here as well. I have another jellyfish for this. Okay. So we're going to put fish on the back. Let's do some fish on the back. And then I'll do some more seahorses. I'll stamp out some more what do you guys call this stuff? What's this stuff called? I can't think. My brain isn't working. It's because it's on demand. So look how pretty and finished that looks with all the nice little stitching. I really, really like that a lot. Okay. So now on the inside, we're going to do jellyfish and jellyfish. And then this was the part, oopsie, let me pull my, I don't know why this bugs me, but it bugs me. We are going to do those fish again, but I turned the die sideways, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. And another thing to be aware of when you are doing this project, if you have plates that are kind of mucked up for your cutting plates, it's going to show on the inside. So grab yourself a good clean pair of plates to work with so it's nice on the inside and not messed up. Very nice. Okay, so these fish, you see this? So I had to make sure that this die, instead of being turned this direction, like you do these down here, these are turned, see that I turned them this direction on this side. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but when we open it up, they're turned this way. But well, because of this direction, you want them this way instead of this way. This side this way, this side the opposite direction. I just want to point that out. If I had done it, my fish would have been the wrong direction. So I had to turn it in order for it to fit on the inside correctly and for the pattern to be correct on the inside. So pay attention to that if you... Seaweed, yeah. Thank you, Cindy. Hello and welcome. Yeah, all that seaweed stuff, all that plant life under the ocean. All right, here's another little set of fish, but they're going the other direction. I just think that's super fun. No, they're not going the other direction. They're going the same direction. So that's kind of cute. They're kind of all... Well, they are. These, one of them's going that way. Super cute. All right. Now our box has all the paper on it. There's all kinds, I mean, you could do all kinds of things with this. You know, you don't have to stick to pattern paper. You could do some stamping. You could do some die cutting for this part down below. I went with easy and simple. Sounds fishy to me, John. Yes, I'm glad you're here too, Cindy. All right, now let's do some die cutting of these. I'm going to go ahead and die cut what I have here out. I might go back to doing some more stamping. I think I want about 5 seahorses and yeah, about 5. And I think I'm going to stick to all the same colors because I'm going to cut this one out. Save it for another project with this paper because that's really pretty. Look at this, you guys. I just wanted to point out how pretty this paper would be with this seahorse. Look at this one. This is just really gorgeous. Look how pretty that would be with it. That nice little monochromatic look. Gorgeous. Really pretty. So that's going on another project. We're sticking with bright. All right. Let's get these die cuts out. And that's the big one. We need to restamp him. I like it that they're different directions too. Another thing that I will point out for you guys is that because these are stamped two-toned, you know, they're double stamped, I do want to say that, oh, I do want, here, I'm going to take my bubbles out. I'm going to fussy cut those real quick. I don't want them running through my die cut machine. Okay. Yeah, we can come back to this. When I stamped this, I have to point out that I stamped the patterned part first, and then I go back in and I stamp the solid part. I will say that if you do that, that solid part actually kind of mutes the color down a smidgen. And so be aware of that. You're going to have to stamp twice. And I did this one twice, and I kind of have a double. I must not have got it back in the corner very well, but I kind of like that double. It kind of looks neat. Sometimes that double stamping works in our favor, and sometimes it doesn't. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. And just lining that up. Let's get some more tape down. Yeah, y'all. There it is. You know when you have it, and you know when you don't. You know when you know. Let's move this guy. Let's get our die cutting out. We'll move all that. And I think on this one, there's not any room for anything around the edges of the image. Just a heads up on that. So you know you've got it when the whole outline is completely covered. Not necessarily covered, but it's there's nothing showing. Okay, let's die cut. Look at all that tape. This was from last week. I pulled out all that tape, and here I am pulling out more tape today. Silly woman. You don't need all that tape. Oh well. You're not going to be able to see all of this. Whoa. We almost had an accident. Camera almost went flying. So we'll have these puppies. We'll stamp about 3 more of everything and die cut those. I'm still laughing about sounds fishy to me. You're silly, John. Okay. Hip hip. So here's our seahorses. Those are so pretty. All right, let's do some. Let's do a big and 2 more smalls, or yeah, we can do 1 big. That works, doesn't it? It does. I don't know what I'm being so ginger for. I might use you to stamp some more bubbles. Okay. You hold on here, because we're coming back to you. All right, I have all of my stamps set up here. So we have, just need another, oopsie. go. This works. Let's do some more of these. I gotta remember that's there. I'm gonna turn it at an angle so I don't knock my, yeah, there we go. Okay. So this is my first big one, and I'm gonna go with this one in, I think I'm gonna go blue for this one. And we'll do another, so we'll do one more orange and another, 2 more blues. Is that right? 2 blues and 1 more orange. Yep. And what did it, there we go. So let's do this guy in blue. And because the one next to it, oops, you guys can't see very well, I'm just inking up on my plate. I'll show you. There we go. So I'm inking these guys up, and it's time to re-ink this color, I believe. This is On the Lake. It's definitely time to re-ink. I have doubled up all my stamping, meaning I've got stamps on the back side here. I could do this with my stamp wheel as well. I just pulled this out. It was the first thing I pulled out was my Stamparatus. I will have to double stamp again, so I'm not going to worry too much about perfection here because I will be going back at it again. All right, and then let's get our last horse here in Orange Twist. Perfect. Yeah, this one definitely, this needs to be re-inked. Okay, and now I'm going to clean this off. Even though we'll come back to this, I'm cleaning it off just to keep my hands clean because I'll touch it and get it on my project. I guarantee you I would do that. All right. Always looking for a decent place to put my... So now we're going to flip and turn. And we are going to, all of these are going to be inked up with Oyster. So I'm just going to ink all of these. These are the solids, just the solid background. So I first did my print and I lined them all up. It was easier to line up the solid portion and then stamp, or sorry, line up the solid portion with the pattern versus doing it the other way around. So stamping your pattern, in my opinion, is easier. But you do you, because it might not be that way for you. You might feel like it the other way around is easier. So I'm not on a very flat surface because I'm kind of propped here. Just gonna kind of scoot. There we go. Maybe that's better. I'm gonna knock this off if I'm not careful. You might see the edge of my iPad for just a second, folks. There we go. I think I can avoid hitting it. There we go. Okay. I am gonna stamp that one more time. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, thank you. Thanks, John. So here we go with our solid in that light, gorgeous oyster color. It's a grayish with gray with a brown, a light brown taupey undertone to it. And I feel like this one's okay. This one's going to need a little help, and this one's going to need a little help. Now, there we go. That's better. That's better. So no, I don't know if you can see this. Oopsie. Now we're really going to be... that came up. So normally I have a sticky mat in here. I don't have it in here right now. So I could pull that out, couldn't I? I could. We're going to go back over this with our colors again because it does mute it down. That covering of that gray mutes it. So we're going to go back over it again. I think it's shifted just a smidge, but I'm not too worried about it. It's going to be fine. So flipping the plate here, going back over the first two in On the Lake and picking up some more detail, hoping that this turns out a little bit better. My goal is to get it in one stamp. Oh, I hope I didn't get the... Oh, you guys. That just makes me nervous. Yep, that's what happened. It was shifted. Okay. This never happens to you guys, does it? Okay. The key to making sure that that never happens, I'm going to get a different piece of cardstock, is to make sure that it's completely in the corner. And I am going to pull up my mat. So give me 1 second here. I do want this to stick. Oh, I didn't bring that one over. Okay, bummer. I do not have my sticky mat here. Okay, we need some better tape then. Okay. My apologies, you guys. I wondered if it shifted. When that tape came up, I was like, oh no. We have a potential disaster. Here, this one's good. Okay. So here we go. Excuse me. Let's do some really good strong tape. We're going to use some of this Spellbinders tape. And it's going to stay now. Okay. I'll try to whip through it again. I'll only stamp once because we're going to have to stamp it again. I'm sure. Okay, making sure. We're going to flip this over. I'll be careful. I'll try. Ink this in Oyster. I'm going to hold the paper in place. Because this is a light color, I want to make sure that I get it fully covered. So I am stamping it more than once because I do want it to show up. I mean, the point is to be subtle, but I don't want it to be so subtle that you can't hardly see it. All right. And one of the nice things about the stamp wheel is that this type of thing doesn't happen as easily when you're dealing with going back to the same spot. Okay, I'm going to stamp that face one more time. was good. Now we're going to re-stamp these. So we're going back. And I know it probably doesn't look like it right now, but it actually, it does tone it down, and it takes the brightness of the stamping away when you go over it with that gray. I think we have it. We have it. I've got the middle part that I really kind of need to give it a little more oomph. And then I think we're good. Press that down. That's good enough. That's pretty. Okay, now I'm going to clean that off. And we're going to turn it over and stamp some of our seaweed. Thank you for being so... I have some duct tape. John. That's hilarious. Oh, word. You're hysterical. Shout out to all the YouTubers who are brave enough to make mistakes in front of people. I feel you. I feel you. Okay. Let's turn this over. Now we're going to do our seaweed and under the water plant life here. Okay. I'm going to do, the first one I'm going to do, I think I want to do a couple of these in Oyster. So I'm going to do these two in Oyster, and I'm going to do another orange because we have 3 seahorses. Oh, whoop, whoop. We need to move this. Yeah. Sometimes, depending on what kind of paper you use with this Spellbinders, it can tear your paper. You have to be very careful with peeling it up if it's not Spellbinders cardstock. Nope, I need to go the other direction, don't I? Here's what we'll do. I'm just going to get another piece of paper, right? Nope. Hopefully this will catch it. It should. Well, we're done with these guys. We can move these guys down. I could actually not waste any more paper. Let's just move these down. I was like, why is that so greasy feeling? Because there's ink on it. All right. Oh, I was going to use this. There we go. Good enough. Okay, back to inking. This will be kind of cool looking. Ooh, that's pretty. It did pick up a little bit of the... No, it didn't. It's good. Oh, good. What a pretty color. Ugh. I love it. And the more you stamp it, the more saturated it gets. And I feel like this one needs a little bit more stamping up here. Just probably need to get a little more pressure. Okay, good enough. Now we can die cut. Wait, one more. Hold on. I said one more orange, didn't I? I did. which one? That one's orange, so we're going to do another one in this cup. This one for orange. So let's just lay that one there. Orange. This is Orange Twist. Very bright and vibrant orange. Very pretty. One more time. We're done. Love it. Okay. Let's put this aside. So the 7.5 by 7.5 mat that goes into the regular size stamp wheel fits inside here in this Stamparatus. And I don't have it here at the house. I have the bigger stamp wheel. So that's why I was thinking, oh, I can pull that out, but I don't have it here. So, boo. Now let's die cut, shall we? We can do our seahorses, and I am gonna kind of separate this one. There's no need to take this one through twice. And I don't know if I was going to show you what I was talking about by there's no white edge on this, which is a good way to know whether or not you're in the right place with this. So I want to mess up my desk. Ugh. Then I would have a messy desk. Is that what they call it? A craft roulette. That's funny. Okay, let's line this little puppy up. Very nice. That was easy. Need another one of those. And I'll tell you how I lined these up is when you're lining the stamps up for these seahorses, for the solid part, you can actually see how it outlines. It's just, it's hard to describe, but these parts here, this part here and this part here on the spine, it's easy to see where it needs to line up when you're lining up those stamps. So that's just an FYI little bit of information that might be helpful to know exactly where to set your solid, okay, stamp. I know it may not make sense if you don't have the set, but if you have the set and you actually do it, you kind of know what I'm saying. Okay, I got off on this right here. Yeah, that's not correct. That's a problem when you're trying to keep your head out of the camera. There we go. Now we have it. Okay. It's a little better. Back to this. All that tape. Anybody need some tape? Let's just pop this in first and we'll do the other one. You guys here. Oh, those turned out so pretty. Very pretty. Yep. This one. And yay. So we'll just kind of pop our seahorses in there with some seaweed and all the fun things. Which one is it? Is the big one. We'll do this last die cut. We are on our way to finishing the assembly on this. So thought it might be helpful if I showed you what I was talking about. You see, there's no white space at all around those edges on the inside. So that's how you know you have it in the right place. Okay. Sometimes you can see a white edge around some of these dies. Does the tape ever pull the ink off the paper? Are you talking about, Cindy, are you talking about the Catherine Pooler paper? Or are you talking about the white cardstock? Because on the white cardstock, no. The tape may pull the Spellbinders, depending on what cardstock you've used. If you use Spellbinders cardstock, it does not tear. That yellow tape does not tear. Any Spellbinders cardstock. I've had really good luck with it with the Catherine Pooler cardstock also. However, the Spellbinders yellow tape, this is not a real thick. I use this cardstock for stamping, and it's not a very thick. It's hammer mill, and it does tear it if you're not careful. Now, as far as the ink off the paper, if you're talking about Catherine Pooler's pattern paper, you do need to be careful with any kind of tape at all. Make sure that you're not taping over the part that's going to come out from die cutting, because sometimes that sticky tape does pull the image off her paper. That's just an FYI. I love her paper, but it's just something to be aware of, to be careful of. It doesn't make me not love her paper. I love it for many reasons. One of the main reasons I love her paper is because it matches her inks, and now, of course, her cardstock. So, there's that. I just know to be careful. That's all. I'm going to do some quick fussy cutting of this. Whoopsie. Those are cute. Move the paper, not the scissors. I do feel like I want to come in a little. Sometimes these little bits and pieces are hard to fussy cut. That's good enough. This is a small little thing to fussy cut. What was I thinking? I wanted bubbles. That's what I was thinking. So I have to remember on some of these, I definitely want some of my acetate to go up above the seahorse for my bubbles to adhere to. Bye, Mary. See you Saturday. Yay. And I found those dies that you were looking for. Krista let me know that you were looking for, and I found them. So I have a set aside for you to take a look at. So, all right. Bye. Have a good day, and thank you for joining me. All right. Let's get this show on the road. So I'm going to put a little sentiment here on the front portion. I'm going to use the smallest of these. And I'm just going to like pop it on like one side here. I'll kind of show you what I'm planning to do here. All right, so let's get these seahorses rolling. I have 5 seahorses and I have 4 bubbles. So my shorter ones are the ones I'm going to use with the bubbles. And I have 4 shorter. So that helps me to know that will work. So I'm going to bring my acetate all the way up here so that I can pop my bubble right there at the top. So it looks halfway decent. I think it's going to be okay. The acetate is going to show a little. That's okay. That's why it's clear. I'm only going to adhere it in one little spot. I'm going to just put a little dab of glue right there. And then let our little bubble. So now we have that. I can't see the bubbles very well. Okay, so we have little bubbles coming up, tiny bubbles. Now, one of the things that I need to be aware of, and the reason I did not put glue all the way down is because I need a little bit of playing room with this. When I close this, I want this to not stick out because it's going to fit into an A2 card. So I need to be aware of where I'm at on this. And I think that's good. So I may need to, I'm going to put acetate, put this on the acetate here. Just kind of bring that down. Hold that there for it to kind of adhere. And this will be a good place for me to kind of have a marker of where these need, that's too far down. Here we go. I'm gonna stick this in here. There we go. Now I can kind of grip it. That was too far down. If I get a little glue in there, I can go in with my powder tool and get that sticky out. The goal is to not have to deal with that at all. But, okay. So now when we close this, yep. I have a little sticking up, so I need to go down just a little bit further. And there we are. Okay. That's the nice part about dealing with acetate. So you can still see inside the box. I don't know if you can see. You can see that clearly that's a seahorse. So no worries at all. Let's do our next one. Can I give that one a little? This acetate has a backer in the front, or a piece of plastic to keep it protected and nice and clean, front and back. Okay. There we go. Okay, in the middle. Get that stuck down. Okay, some bubbles. And this just needs a little dab, not a whole lot. So we don't want to go any further than that. So this one's a good, I like it that they're opposite directions from each other. This is kind of nice. Okay. Our big one's going to go in the back. Hold that down. If we're the same height, we should be good. And then we'll put some C. Uh-oh, I froze. Oh no. Am I back? Please let me know if I'm back. I put some seaweed there. Kind of tuck it in there. Kind of wanted that right there. There. I tucked this under and behind a little. There we go. Am I good? Oh no. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring that down. There. There we go. Okay. Let's do the back one. You know, I could also pop up a sentiment instead of putting it there. I could put it in the, and I might do that. Put my sentiment in the middle. Maybe. Maybe. That would be kind of nice. Let me know if I'm still with you guys. If it was just a temporary freeze. I'll bring that up a little more. Yeah, we're good so far. I suppose when we get to that point, kind of relying on here. Look at how that looks so far. That's kind of neat looking. I like it. I like the color combo here is really pretty. Okay. We're going to take this one. My thoughts are little dabble do ya. Some more bubbles. Still at work, I can't really chat, but I wanted to say howdy. Look forward to watching the replay. Hi, Irene. Welcome. I'm so glad. We need to connect because I think, is it next Saturday? I think we're going live together next Saturday. Woohoo! Thanks for hopping on, Irene. Okay. I'm going to stick this behind here instead of putting it up front, because you kind of already get the gist of this. But I do need to bring that down for sure, because it's too high up. Can we close that? There we go. Let's bring it over. So the point is to have a whole bunch of seahorses in here. That one is not moved over enough for me and my liking. Needs to come over this direction. Closer to the edge. There we go. All right. Just fiddling with it to make sure it's gonna not go too far over the top. I think we're good. Yay. Now our last seahorse. We'll get some more seaweeds in here. I really like that. I don't know if y'all can see that at all. It's so pretty. All those colors are so pretty. This is going to be hard to take a picture of. I have to really get down. Come on. You can come off of there. There we go. And I am going to add these. Add some of those on. Not sure how. I don't know that that sentiment would work in there where I was thinking. So perhaps just, let's get a bubble on here. And get some glue right down here. Put that. Yeah. Trying to grab it with my, there we go. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that at all. That's pretty. In real life, it's way prettier than on screen. I'm trying to let go of that. There we go. Excellent. We're still closed. Hopefully that's not an issue. So let's put them, we'll put the orange in the middle here, and then that blue. Should put blue in the middle. Yeah, let's, okay. Let's get this. That one can go there. It's hard to hold it down in there. I probably should have my tweezers doing this. And I'll put that one in there because it's kind of big. My goal was to fill this up as much as possible. I'm definitely going to have to get some powder, anti-static powder inside of this so it doesn't stick everywhere. There we go. Come on, let go of me. And maybe some of these can come up like that in the back, kind of in between with some acetate. So let's do that. Well, actually I already have some. This is thinner. I kind of like that. Skinnier is what I meant. And some higher up would be really pretty. Yeah. Trim that. There. And then it slides on over. It's like, hello. Love that. That's going to take a little time to dry. Okay, our last one. This one's already peeled off. Let's use you. And now we didn't waste our acetate. We just have a couple strips. Yay. There, I felt like I got a better grip on that one. All right. Is everybody with me? Still with me? I didn't freeze completely, did I? I'm assuming since I got a message from Irene that all is well. Yay. And there it is, folks. Oh, let's bring this down here so you can kind of see that a little bit better. It turned out so pretty. All right, a sentiment, some shells. Let's, okay. I'm frozen. that's weird because it's not showing that I'm frozen. Hey, hun, can you hop off? I think that's holding up the Wi-Fi possibly. I'm going to stick this in here and pick a sentiment. I'll repost this. I'm going to do this in, like, I don't know that I want to do it in black. I think I want to do it in, I might do it in orange because it looks like we have a lot of blue going on. Yeah. Although we do have a lot of orange too. I'm going to go for it in orange. Hopefully did it iron itself out? I think this is going to capture this perfectly, and I'm pop that in the middle there. Or I could do it down at the bottom. We'll see. Let's die cut this. And we're not going to bring out the big die cut machine. We'll just bring out the little mini. Set that here. Okay. So it won't matter if I'm on the outside, but I know it's not going anywhere if I use this tape. Okay. I'm crooked. It's the day of crooked. Gotta get this in here right. I think I got it straight now. Yep, there it is. Now roll it through. Hurry. Yeah, I think that orange is perfect because that's exactly where I'm going to place it. In the middle of all those blue ones. I think this is going to work. Perfect, perfect. I could put it over here to the side too. And just kind of, that's kind of neat. I kind of like that. What do you guys think? I think it's kind of neat to put it over here to the side. Yeah. Awesome. And now where to put some shells. I think some pretty places in here would be really gorgeous. Yeah. Let's get that straight. This is, I wouldn't want to do life with anyone else. I could put some shells in here. That'd be kind of pretty. Let's just pour some in and see what we get. Okay. I love these. Oopsie, wrong end. I really, really like these, oh, what do you guys call that? That is called, like they have the, it's got a pattern on it. It's really pretty. What is that? There's a name for that, and I can't think of it right now. Oh, we could do these as their little blub blub blubs, couldn't we? All right, do it right. So I'm gonna do this and kind of hold it in place. Okay. There's a smaller one here. It's hard to pick that up. I gotta tighten that. These aren't really small enough to be blub blub blubs. Water pieces, but I'll just put some of these small ones in here too. That's so pretty. And I think I'll just do 3 over here, down kind of here. And I think we'll, although this would be kind of a neat little place to put it. Yeah, I'm still frozen.
I don't know if you still are. Are you done?
Almost.
Oh. I'm sorry. Was it me that got you?
I don't know.
Being online?
Is anybody still here with me? Hopefully somebody's still here with me.
It
All right.
started over and it's frozen.
Huh, that's so wild. Well, I'll have to repost it.
Yeah. It keeps starting over and it freezes at a certain spot.
Oh, man. Bummer, you guys. I'm sorry.
I don't know, is it
Just
me?
well, if you're using the Wi-Fi, it might be hanging me up.
Did Lily say anything?
I have 0 responses from anyone, so I'm thinking I am probably frozen. Okay. Got one of those are hanging on. Oops. This thing is, there we go. Let's move you over and move you up here. Ha! Pam's here. Hi, Pam. Welcome. So I'm hoping that means that I'm not completely frozen all together. Okay. That's it. I think that's all I'm going to do as far as gems go. I think we're good to go. Woo! I did it. You came just in time for me to finish, Pam. But look at all these gorgeous seahorses. They're just absolutely beautiful with this underwear. Now, I said I was going to try and see if it fits within an A2 envelope. I promised you that. So let's do that real quick. Hopefully I don't lose any of my gems. We have an A2 here. And we're gonna pop this in just like so. And it's perfect. Yay, you guys, it worked. And it's actually not too thick either. It's kind of nice. Yay! With all those layers and all that dimension. And it's supposed to, like, when you pull it out here, it just kind of like pops open. So, yay! There it is. Woohoo! Done. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week.
You too.
Bye-bye.